What if one of the people closest to Beyoncé came forward with a warning, saying she might not be as trustworthy as the world believes? Bianca Lawson isn't just another actress in Hollywood. She's family, and because of that, she's seen things the rest of us could only imagine. But the question is, why would someone in her position hint that Beyoncé shouldn't be trusted? The answer might change the way you see one of the most powerful women in music forever. Before we get into the heart of the controversy, you need to understand why Bianca Lawson's words carry so much weight. She isn't just some distant relative riding on fame. She's a respected actress with a career that stands firmly on its own. You've probably seen her in hit shows like Pretty Little Liars, Teen Wolf, or Queen Sugar, where her performances earned her a reputation for disappearing into her roles. But behind the camera, Bianca's personal life quietly placed her in the inner circle of one of the most famous families in the world. Her father, actor Richard Lawson, married Tina Knowles in 2015. That's right, Tina, Beyoncé's mother. Overnight, Bianca went from Hollywood star to being a direct part of Beyoncé's family unit. And this wasn't just a paper connection. Since then, she's been seen at family events, red carpets, and even at major moments like the Renaissance film premiere, standing shoulder to shoulder with the Knowles women. According to outlets like Showbiz Cheat Sheet and Vulture, Bianca's role in the family has been described as more than just a stepdaughter. Tina herself has openly called her one of her bonus children. Think about what that means. Bianca has a front row seat to the private world behind Beyoncé's carefully managed public image. Unlike fans or even industry insiders, she's right there at family dinners, celebrations, and moments the public never sees. And that's exactly why her perspective is so important. When someone in that position hints that Beyoncé may not be as trustworthy as her global brand suggests, it raises questions that can't be easily ignored. But being this close to the Knowles empire also comes with its risks and its secrets. And if Bianca really has reasons to speak out, it's not just casual gossip. It's the kind of revelation that could shake the image Beyoncé has spent decades perfecting. When Tina Knowles Lawson married Bianca Lawson's father, Richard Lawson, the family instantly grew, and so did Bianca's place in one of the most powerful entertainment dynasties on the planet. Tina didn't just welcome her as a stepdaughter. She publicly called Bianca one of her bonus children, a title that signaled just how close their bond was. Outlets like Vulture and Showbiz Cheat Sheet have highlighted this dynamic, pointing out that Bianca isn't treated as an outsider looking in. She's woven directly into the Knowles family fabric. Over the years, this connection has become more visible. Bianca has been spotted at high-profile family occasions, from red carpets to private celebrations. Most notably, she appeared at Beyoncé's Renaissance film premiere, captured standing alongside Tina and other family members, looking every bit the insider. As Toyas World reported, Bianca wasn't tucked away in the background. She was part of the central circle, a subtle but clear reminder of her access to the private side of Beyoncé's empire. And while most of the world only sees Beyoncé through polished interviews, tightly controlled social media posts, and choreographed public appearances, Bianca has the kind of proximity that strips away the filters. Imagine sitting across from Beyoncé at a family dinner, or being present in the quiet moments after a major controversy. That's the level of insight we're talking about here. This is what makes Bianca's perspective so intriguing. She doesn't need to speculate. She's in a position to know, which raises the question, if someone so deeply embedded in Beyoncé's inner circle suggests she might not be fully trustworthy, what has she seen behind closed doors that the rest of the world hasn't? But as close as she is, this connection also places Bianca in the middle of delicate family dynamics. And not everything within the Knowles household is as flawless as the public image suggests. And that brings us to what Bianca may have witnessed when loyalty and image collided. One thing the public has learned about Beyoncé and her family is that they do not take criticism lightly. Time and again, whenever controversy brews, the Knowles family rallies to control the narrative. Outlets like Showbiz Cheat Sheet and That Grape Juice have documented how Tina Knowles, in particular, often steps in to defend her daughter. She's gone on record saying that no matter what Beyoncé does, she's scrutinized and torn apart. It's a pattern that keeps repeating. When the star is under fire, the family circles the wagons and pushes back hard. But from the outside, fans only see the polished responses. Inside the family, that's where Bianca Lawson comes in. Being a bonus daughter in Tina's household means she's not just watching headlines unfold. She's present for the real conversations that happen when the cameras are off. She's seen how Beyoncé reacts when she's accused of being too secretive, too controlling, or too calculating. And according to reports from Vulture, People, and Toya's World, that defensive posture isn't just a public act, it's deeply embedded in how the family handles any threat to their image. Consider how controversies have been managed in the past, from whispers about behind-the-scenes power struggles to speculation about Beyoncé's business decisions. The Knowles family has consistently taken a protective, almost combative stance. Public statements are carefully crafted. Social media posts are timed like clockwork, and every message seems designed to shut down criticism rather than invite transparency. It's no coincidence that the language always feels unified, because behind closed doors, the family is working together to protect the empire. For Bianca, watching this pattern up close would be impossible to ignore. Imagine sitting through those private strategy sessions, seeing the gap between Beyoncé's public persona and the frustration or intensity that might show in private. That's where the question of trust comes in. If the image we're sold is built on tight control and carefully scripted messaging, how much of it is real? And if Bianca truly has seen sides of Beyoncé that clash with the flawless superstar brand, then her perspective isn't just interesting, it's potentially explosive. Because once you've glimpsed the unpolished reality, you can't look at the polished version the same way again. But that's only scratching the surface, because the real question isn't just how the family responds to criticism. It's what Bianca may have personally witnessed when the spotlight faded. Up until now, most of what the public sees of Beyoncé's world is a perfectly polished performance, both on stage and off. But what happens when the cameras are gone and the carefully managed image drops away? That's where Bianca Lawson's unique position becomes so important. She isn't relying on gossip blogs or speculation. She's living within the very structure that shapes Beyoncé's empire, which means if there are cracks in the foundation, she's in a place to notice them. Over the years, rumors have swirled about tension in the Knowles family, whispers of power struggles, disagreements about control, and the immense pressure of protecting a billion-dollar brand. While few of these stories ever make it beyond speculation, they leave fans wondering what's really going on behind closed doors. Could Bianca have seen moments where Beyoncé's ironclad control clashed with the emotions and opinions of those closest to her? Could she have witnessed arguments or decisions that paint a very different picture than the flawless superstar we see in interviews and photo shoots? This isn't about spreading baseless gossip. It's about trust. Beyoncé's global image is built on the idea of authenticity, of being someone fans can look up to and believe in. But when the family itself is known for aggressively controlling the narrative, it raises a critical question. How much of that image is real, and how much is just a story carefully managed by the people around her? Bianca's silence, or lack of it, becomes just as powerful as her words. Even subtle hints from her carry weight, because she doesn't need to sensationalize anything. Her very presence in the inner circle gives her credibility. And when someone like Bianca implies that Beyoncé might not be fully trustworthy, it shakes the confidence of fans who've always believed in the star's perfect image. Because if the truth Bianca has seen ever came to light, it wouldn't just be shocking. It could change the way people think about Beyoncé forever. And as we look closer, recent controversies and public scrutiny only make Bianca's potential perspective more relevant than ever. If there's one thing that proves how closely the world watches Beyoncé, it's how quickly even the smallest controversy can spiral into headlines. Take the moment when rapper No Name called out mainstream artists, including Beyoncé, for profiting from Black culture while not always speaking loudly enough on social justice issues. The comments spread like wildfire, sparking debates across social media and dividing fans. Publicly, Beyoncé responded through her art and charitable work, reinforcing her commitment to activism. But behind closed doors, that's where things get far more complicated. Someone like Bianca Lawson, sitting at the very table where those conversations happen, would know exactly how Beyoncé reacted when her integrity was questioned so openly. And it isn't just critics from outside the family. Even Tina Knowles herself has faced backlash when defending her daughter. Harper's Bazaar and Vulture both reported on times when Tina called out what she described as social media terrorists, blasting those who, in her words, seemed determined to tear Beyoncé down no matter what she did. To the public, it looked like a protective mother lashing out at unfair criticism. But what was happening behind the scenes? Was the family united? Or was there tension about whether defending Beyoncé so aggressively only fueled more controversy? These aren't questions the average fan can answer. But Bianca Lawson isn't the average fan. Being right in the middle of these dynamics, she may have seen the raw, unfiltered reactions, moments of frustration, heated discussions, maybe even disagreements over how to respond. Did Beyoncé shrug off the criticism, or did it cut deeper than she let on? Was the family unanimous in its approach, or were there cracks in the armor that the world never noticed? And that's where the issue of trust comes into play. Because if Bianca knows that Beyoncé's polished responses don't always match what's said or felt behind closed doors, then the superstar's public image may be far less authentic than we've been led to believe. But the bigger question is, why would Bianca, someone so close to the family, hint at any of this at all? At this point, you might be asking yourself, why does any of this matter? Why should fans care about what Bianca Lawson may have seen behind closed doors? The answer is simple, because it challenges the way we view power, loyalty, and truth in a world built on carefully crafted images. Beyoncé isn't just a pop star, she's an icon. She's built a career on empowerment, authenticity, and a near-flawless reputation. For millions of people, she represents strength, ambition, and perfection. What if someone as close as Bianca suggests that this image may not tell the full story? It forces us to ask a difficult question. How much of what we believe about our idols is real, and how much is a carefully managed illusion? This isn't just about Beyoncé. It's about the larger machine of celebrity culture, the power structures that demand loyalty, silence, and control to protect an empire. When a family operates like a fortress, every member inside it is expected to play their role without question. And yet, when someone like Bianca hints that trusting Beyoncé may not be deserved, it cracks open a door the public was never supposed to see through. Think about it. Loyalty can be a beautiful thing, but in power structures this massive, it can also become a tool used to silence, to protect an image, and to shield truths that might change everything. That's why Bianca's perspective matters. She's not just another voice online. She's someone who knows the difference between the glamorous surface and the private reality. And for viewers like you, this isn't just gossip. It's an invitation to question the stories we're told about the people we admire most. Because if even Beyoncé, a global icon, has shadows behind her shine, what does that say about the way fame really works? But here's where it gets even more fascinating. What Bianca chooses to share or to withhold could be the deciding factor in whether Beyoncé's image stays untouchable or whether the truth finally breaks through. When you put all of this together, one thing becomes clear. Bianca Lawson isn't just another Hollywood figure with a casual opinion about Beyoncé. She's family. She's been right there at the dinners, the premieres, and the private moments the rest of the world will never see. That gives her a credibility no outsider could ever claim. And if anyone has watched how Beyoncé handles criticism, navigates power, and protects her empire, it's Bianca. Through her unique position, she's seen both the polished superstar the world worships and the unfiltered woman behind the image. She's been present during the tense moments when the family circled the wagons, when accusations surfaced, and when the weight of protecting a billion-dollar brand pressed down on everyone in the room. And if she's hinting that Beyoncé shouldn't be fully trusted, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly has she seen that we haven't? Because here's the reality. One revelation from Bianca Lawson could shift how millions of people view Beyoncé, not just as an entertainer, but as a person. It could blur the line between the legend we see on stage and the human being navigating loyalty, control, and power behind closed doors. And maybe the most unsettling part is this. If this is what Bianca has chosen to let us glimpse, what hasn't she said yet? So now the question is yours. Do you believe the image of Beyoncé we've been given? Or do you think Bianca's perspective exposes a truth we were never supposed to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, because the story isn't over yet.